there's a reason for everything I do, I promise. And you might not agree with it, but I have reasons. Beth, would you like the mod badge again?
No, thank you. I have my own room. I have to mod tonight, so no, thank you.
Can you share information about your room so we can promote it here?
Yep, we are doing a room tonight and Get Up and Grow. And it
nice
is,
house title.
Once again, it will be pre-show to Town Hall, the rest of the best of us, because we not get our questions answered. So we tried to collaborate and answer them. Last week, they decided they were not going to go up against us, so they changed it to this week. So tonight, they will be doing their hall and also tomorrow.
Do you want to drop a link to your room in the chat?
Triggers. I don't like being interrupted, and I'm terrible sometimes when I'm tired. And I have ADHD, and I have a pretty good control over whatever. I have had a terrible habit of interrupting, and I don't mean to. I know a lot of people don't mean to. We all get caught up, and also I've learned also that even if I'm unjustly called out for that I'm going to have grace and back down and say I didn't interrupt, but okay, I just have to learn that. I had to learn how to just like, a lot of, like you said, Monica, that you're, that you take a lot of heat when you mod. That's one of the reasons why I don't like modding, is because some people do take a lot of heat. And I forgot what I was going to say about, triggers. So here's the other thing about triggers. So in that regard, I'm not responsible.
Actually read, as opposed to
have a lot to
talking
to that.
like a traditional book club. This is an active reading book club.
Knowing the balancing act, because I know that I like more order than chaos, and there's people that like more chaos than order. And so if I am too heavy with the moderation, the room gets stale and stagnant and dies out. I know that. And seeing Brad become increasingly abusive to every single he doesn't like on the app is not a good time. And he can do that in White Belts and Chillism. They will let him. So if he can do that in any room that he creates, because it's his room. And I just think In the Muff is made of better stuff.
Giving us, great gun rights.
May I ask a question? All of this.
Had Roger been there, none of this would have happened. Because Roger...
That's not true, man.
Okay, let me ask you.
Roger left the room because of Roger was in the room when it started. Shirley, Roger left the room shortly after. And then in this room, escalation was going on, so Roger is well aware of what happened.
Yeah, when he had left or whatever.
And correct.
For the time that he wasn't there, he knows that there was a shit show. I don't know to what detail he knows of.
Started this room quickly after I tried to feed this room into Serendipity's new room, like a palette cleanse, a hard reset, but nobody was going. And I thought Serendipity would make a new In the Muff room, and she didn't. And so I just opened this one, and she's a clever girl, found me quickly, and so we have this room. I have the replay on. I can turn it off, but tempted to leave it for a record. So, but I need the whole room's feedback. So let me do a new poll. And
well, I can tell you just by listening for the 7 minutes that I have that you clearly have leaders that occasionally don't trust and don't believe each other. I have leaders in my houses, and I have regular moderators in my houses, and all I want to say, and I'm really not bragging, I'll just say I'm extremely proud that we have a mod squad text, and That's not a private message on Clubhouse. It's actually, we have each other's cell phone numbers, and whenever there's a problem, we have a mod squad text that includes like 10 people, and we communicate by text. We do our best 95% successfully, not to air our dirty laundry in public. I understand that doesn't work for everybody. I'm not banging on this house. I'm just saying that's the way we do things. And it appears apparent to me, and I'll land it here, that in this house, you clearly have some leaders that not only trust each other, but don't believe each other. That's it.
Where do you get that assumption from?
Yeah, well, that's not quite right. But go ahead, Serendipity.
Well, the reason why I make that assumption is because somebody said 2 minutes ago, well, I would say it, but they don't believe me. That's why I made that assumption.
But the thing of it is, I think that, number one, a lot of people besides just the leaders are modded in these rooms. Personally, I don't really have a problem with anybody that Roger mods. It's not an issue of trust for me and not trusting and not believing. I think sometimes the communication can be hard, especially when you're in a room like we came from, because you can't really, like you said, having.
Doesn't mean you're a leader.
Correct.
If you're a leader in a house, you can start rooms in that house. If you're not a leader,
That's the question. We open. Those rooms run real smooth. And we do have back channels where we're texting each other, hey, this is getting. Yeah, I think the mods should be able to communicate clearly to one another, because if not, this app is to throw people down or kick them out of the room or block them. It's really quite strange. But no, Steve and I, we've been friends. Steve, how many years? At least 4, right? Our rooms never went crazy.
Sounds about right. My room, I run 2, of course, one on Saturday morning, one on Sunday morning. And it never gets out of hand, but there's a reason for that. It's because I start the room. I'm the only one that starts the room Saturday and Sunday morning. And the mods all know that I'm the one that closes the room. I'm the one that's responsible, and I'm the one that's in charge. And if the mods have a problem with that, they can do it through text. They can call me directly. As I said, and again, doesn't mean that the way I do it's going to work for everybody else, but we do not air our dirty laundry in public.
Can we get past this room comparison? Because that was not a room issue. That was simply a Brad issue. It could have been solved with one click of the button. Now, this was not no Aaron.
Talking about me? Talking about me?
It's very difficult. It's very difficult.
Lady Miles, they know Brad is Roger friend, and they didn't want to kick him out of the room. That was the only issue. Like, so to make this comparing rooms is stupid. Act like it was some kind of airing their laundry is stupid. And to continue this conversation is fucking stupid. Like let's talk about the blue jeans or something.
Being able to talk to people that you're different with and it not turn into this big crash out. But then there are times in a more social element where, current events, topic, I don't take issue with that. I think you go where, the conversation takes you and you enjoy what you enjoy.
But then also I said, hey, you have to either demod yourself or unblock Serendipity. You have to either demod yourself or unblock Serendipity. Mojo created this room, or I did this morning. Serendipity and Mojo and I have been in here all day. For her to block Serendipity when she left is untenable to me. You don't get to remove or deny someone access to a room they helped build. It's bullshit.
Right.
And then she started swinging her dick around. And I'm like, no, she doesn't get to you.
You were blocked?
Yeah, which was fine. I wasn't going to go back anyway. But yeah, I was blocked.
I'm sorry. See, I don't know the stupid drama. And this is a really great thing of don't bring drama.
Right? Yeah.
Wow, that's okay. Because you know what? We all learned. Okay. Wow.
And in fairness to her, I block her tonalities that don't. We clash, and we clash in not very productive ways. So it's just better to block her and not have to deal with it. You know, like I made that decision to leave that room because I just don't like to see people crash and burn like that. Like it just breaks my heart to see people get torn up. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm a big sap like that. So it in that respect, it didn't matter, Kristen. It's not like I was like, oh my God, I can't get back in the room. It wasn't a situation like that. But that's not to discredit or take away from Monica's point, because there could be a time
that I said, oh hell no, KK is not going to curate my space for me. Also, the concern of space for me. Also, the concern of Clubhouse glitching me out of the room and me being locked out was a huge factor too. She doesn't get to colonize my rooms. And if Mojo wants her as a mod in his spaces, he can with my full blessing. And those are rooms I don't have to be in.
I concur. Yeah, no, I absolutely concur.
But John, when I moved Brad down, it was me to try to control the space. And I know, and I moved him down, and I moved him down twice. I did not move him down the third time, and I do recommend people take responsibility, whoever.
Just let's change the subject.
And not entertaining it. Mm-hmm.
Right, that's right. And I didn't.
And then people kept bringing her up so she could insult me. I'm like, this is not working. Let's do a new room. And then when I tried to guide everybody to Serendipity's room, nobody was leaving. And so I demodded all the mods that I did
directly, and I'm the one who actually added her. So I really appreciate that.
I'm actually cloud Serendipity back in. And Serendipity doesn't want to be in, but that's not the point. The point is, it's in the muff.
I don't want to
because Brad has value. Brad comes with some knowledge. So when he's on his knees and talking with him.
The black nationalist, and that's what I'm talking about. He's the black nationalist. Y'all should have never let him attack him like this.
I agree, Akima. There's many mistakes made. And I didn't know about, and here's the thing too, and I apologize.
I don't hold a grudge because you didn't know. You needed information that you didn't have, so you made choices based on what you knew. And like I said,
you're not owing me an apology at all either.
I should have called this the Monica show, actually.
I don't expect anybody to know my personal history with anybody else on this app. I don't expect anybody to fight my battles. People do shitty things. Somebody did a horrifically, probably the most horrific, shitty thing to me last night on this app. But you know what? You don't see me making rooms about it, and you don't see me running my mouth about it, because I have to take responsibility for my experience and what I tolerate and what I allow. That's not on anybody else, so I don't hold you accountable for that.
Okay, and so Nai's not here, and I really did, because she's not going to understand. She did her best to get that room under control. She was Herculean with the Game of Thrones music and everything. And I just knew the temperament of the people she was trying to control. And
yeah.
And I couldn't speak.
It does sound like a voice I would do, right?
So I did the limited things that I could do. So... if y'all talk to Nai, tell her please don't hate Monica, and maybe check out this replay. And what I'd like to suggest is we open another room for casual conversation with no replays and move on to talk about jeans. What do you guys think?
Can we talk about jeans?
See, this is where people don't know how to meditate, or
I got my jean
do
PTR.
prayer, or meditation, read a book.
Y'all want to continue with this room with the replay on? Y'all okay with that?
I just want to say that this is like a perfect example of, where a book can help calm the nerves and reduce the anxiety and change the topic in a positive direction.
Well, sure. We like those external hard drives, John.
Another book I want to read is really very juvenile, but it was one of my favorites because there's a ghost story, and it's called Wait Till Helen Comes. Maybe one day we can read that. It's not very long.
Oh. I'll tell you one that would be good for Clubhouses for the next conversation.
It's called The Next Conversation.
Yep. It's how to say more with less words.
I'm actually going to write that down because I'm always
Okay, now I feel called out. Were you talking about me?
No, not at all. But it gives you a lot of good, helpful information about, like, you know, when somebody just says something that rubs you the wrong way, a more polite response to redirect their projection without really having to succumb to being nasty yourself.
Mojo.
It's really good read.
I'm gonna go actually look on Amazon and get that because I know how, like, I was raised in a very defensive, aggressive, competitive environment. That's just, I don't like it.
These are the Mojo survey questions on Mojo's profile. What would be preferable to the U.S. government? Reduce the government. Who is the star? Mojo, of course. In your opinion, who is Poseidon's double? Mojo for sure.
My jeans are blue. I think we need a new poll, Miss Monica.
Okay, that'll be my last vocal act for a while. So
okay. I'm sure everybody's aware of the American Eagle ad and the backlash that has come from it. With Sydney Sweeney. And so, yeah, I think first we'll probably ought to get this poll up and let everybody vote and poll and kind of see where the room stands.
Yeah, I have a problem with American Eagle, like I said. It's Megyn Kelly, though, is a complete hypocrite, though. She constantly shit talks other girls who are more attractive than her, so.
I'm pretty sure it's Megyn Kelly that got into that argument with that other girl that, let me see. Why can't I remember?
That most people's, if most people's lives, at least in the Western world, is relatively good today, that increases the misery and pain of the unfortunate much more than it was 200 years ago or 300 and 500 years ago when most people's lives was miserable.
What do you mean? Because of the comparison? Exactly. Where people can. Oh, I see what you're saying, Ralph. Yeah.
Well, fuck envious people.
Hey, I want to address the stupid title of your room. Just call Islam stupid is really stupid of a stupid person who creates a room about stupid Islam or Christianity. Maybe you should, read a book or something as opposed to coming on here and complaining all the time. Aren't you, divorced or something? And you got a broken heart? Maybe if you read the Bible or the glorious Quran, you would find some peace and love and joy in yourself again and get yourself a girlfriend or a boy.
Actually checked me out today.
Wow. Listen, John.
Yeah, what is it, silly stupid man? Stupid orange-haired, ugly boy. What are you going to do about it? You're going to kick me from the room because you got an anger management problem too?
I have a particular set of skills. A set of skills that makes me a nightmare for people like you. If you don't apologize,
What do you think, you're Batman? You're like the Jewish Batman now? A Jew's never played Batman, never.
See, you can't play, have fun with people if you don't let them, they do their bits too. Not someone else do their bits, you're fucking.
See, that's what that.
No,
my
improvisational comedian. If you
that was a good one, wasn't it?
Other people's jokes, bro. You're a failed comedian, bro. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I know. I thought that.
Hey, Rob. I'm sorry.
I gotta clip all
I
those.
was like, shit, no, I unfortunately have to go to an appointment. I was just like, I don't know, stick on with the humor. I don't know. I think spaces sometimes get really serious, and it's a lot of just opinion. But
yeah, that was good.
I mean, also having some humor is kind of like quality of life. I mean, you can have really serious conversations, but it's all kind of opinion, and it's also kind of. But I mean, there's some kind of humor that I think works out nicely. So
somebody just wanted to do a private.
That was appreciated for it.
So we didn't Sabercon.
Here's a fun one. I've been married for 23 years, right?
She's
for hits and giggles, I changed all my relationship statuses to single. I'm 51 years old. I changed all my relationship statuses to single, and the algorithms immediately started advertising like fancy cat food to me. Not dick, no, cats. Like,
Wait.
I posted the wrong link, Kristen. That's not the one. There's one of them. She talks about, I got this from my mother. I got this from my father, talking about genes as in GENES.
Yeah.
And then she ends it with, I got great genes. My genes are blue.
Oh. What does that mean? Sorry for the being dumb, but
yeah, she's just playing on the you know, the whole gene versus gene thing, and yeah, basically a lot of people have come out and said that, you know, it's Nazism, it's promoting white supremacy, blah 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 blah.
It's the whole blue, what you said, blue genes.
Right.
It's like the whole blue blood.
oh, okay.
Yeah, blue blood, and yeah.
All right. Watch. Interesting.
So this is John.
There's a history, right? Didn't Beyonce do that? So I don't know the history, but pardon?
Yeah, Beyonce did it with Levi.
Yeah, so there's a history with the back and forth on that.
Oh, do tell, Dawn.
What's that?
Micro has a react to Sydney's Sweetie's Gina.
So, you know, I keep getting accused that I am that person point on this app, who I believe is a white guy doing a, you know, a black. I mean, the PTR is irrelevant. We know that that is not the person, and it's most likely a white gay guy doing that voice. I wouldn't even call it a black. I don't know. I would just call it a guy doing a woman's impersonation, right? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong.
Okay, so I have a show open called The Point Show Comedy, where I'm going to do an impersonation of Point. I hope you don't mind, but I'm going deep in the muff into character.
I definitely accused Point of being used in several rooms. This is my first time seeing you guys in a room together, exactly speaking at the same time. So.
Well,
I'm leaning away from the fact of that.
No, he really ticked me off. He came into a Monica, Serendipity, and Anne room, and when we realized it was him on his Edmund account, he got booted. And I don't even know who booted him at that point, because I really wasn't on the boot Edmund on site bandwagon. But they carried on a conversation with us for 15 minutes before somebody else came in and said, "Y'all know you're talking to Edmund, right?"
No way.
I was so mad at it. I was like, "Oh, screw him."
Wait, you're claiming I played a black boy?
You did. You totally did.
Project a lot of other people onto me and not even know they're doing it.
No, it was definitely you. Because when you got called out on it, you lost your character voice.
Well, I'd have to hear that recording because it's not often that well, maybe I have. I guess I have. But, you know, I'd have to hear it because to claim...
"Oh, it's my 3 favorite white ladies, blah, blah, blah."
Oh, I don't know about that. I'd have to hear the supposed recording.
People, huh?
So, Necro, have you ever bought one article of clothing from American Eagle stores?
Yeah, I just bought some of the We're Not Pollutions.
What did you buy?
I bought skinny jeans, so.
Got it. Well, you know, you could do squats, you could take protein supplements and have a new...
We could do this too, since you did the whole meeting room.
we can do a walking for 1 hour. We can all do like talking and maybe not, it could be a room from in the bus, it could be whatever. But we could do a walking room where it's like, let's feed necro, some protein shakes, and we'll walk for an hour, and we'll all do it together. I need that too. I say that because I need it too. You can say no.
I mean, I've lost my six pack. I mean, I used to be so skinny that, I pretty much was all just, pretty much just bones. So.
The egregore mind.
That's not good. That's not healthy.
The egregore mind.
Let's get you some more protein.
Interdimensional.
I'd be spending this much time on Clubhouse if I was doing something else. So I try to stay busy.
Well, see, when I'm here, I am most of the time I'm really engaged because I am live streaming myself. So I think it gives me a different experience, maybe a higher dopamine experience. Plus I smoke cannabis, generally, and drink coffee in the morning. But all I'm trying to say is, the whole thing is, if you do want to purge your memory, you have to create new experiences and new educational moments in life. Just imagine the previous speaker's emotional discombobulation, because when you self-roast and you're really nasty and aggressive, amplify the love to extinguish the pain.
I wish I could smoke pot. That's not fair. I want to smoke pot.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who could benefit from it, but unfortunately they have these things called jobs, and a lot of their jobs dictate that they cannot consume a vegetable plant, which in many ways I understand, because knowing
Monica, to your comment about who knew the word hun would trigger so thoroughly, it can be condescending sometimes.
Oh, it totally is. I agree.
Yeah. People can, particularly somebody my age, just looking at me and going, hun, no, I'm not your honey.
I once told my teacher, my name is Doctor, not honey.
Oh, shit. Well, I think that's this was a great example of the conflict that it was an excellent, it was an incredible example that I can never really articulate very well. Like how I grew up in a Midwestern household.
Yes, there's a war after they call it Israel.
In a southern.
So if they're resisting for their own land or property or whatever, then it turns into a war. It's not a war. They want their shit back. Just like you live in America, you probably want your shit back, or somebody else to come in and pull up and say, "Oh no, we have a UN partition plan," or they're trying to take away property, and they even file the cases. There's the cases that they have filed in the court, to try to get their land. So I don't think it's not. I don't think we can call it a war. They just were resisting. And then the Arab.
I could see that being an invasion rather than a war, or an invasion that amounted to a one-sided war. I'm not convinced, though, that there's any basis to take Israel's borders from them as they stand today, but I'm not supportive of them expanding their borders. And
Do you agree? Do you agree with the Nakba?
What would I have to agree to the Nakba? Like, what do you mean?
Like,
when you say you agree with it?
You said that the borders, you don't want them to expand anymore.
Oh yeah.
You think that they shouldn't go?
I agree with what they did in the first place. Is what you're saying? Not from a Zionist principle, no. No, I see what you're saying. But that I would consider people that agree with that portion of it are textbook Zionists. I would say that's what Zionism kind of is the people that think that was completely appropriate. I'm not saying I'm that. I'm saying that in light of the fact that they exist already, I don't think it's appropriate to be taking it from them, but that doesn't mean that they should be supported in expanding it as well. They should not. So I guess what I'm saying, and they should lay off the Palestinians when it comes to the West Bank and the incursions on the West Bank, things like that.
Should they give back land? Should they minimize or reduce their borders?
No, other then turning over anything that they kind of encroached on the West Bank and stuff based on, in the last 40 or 50 years, maybe, yes, but I don't think they should be giving back the proper borders that exist beyond the Golan Heights and the West Bank and Gaza as they stood, after all that happened, I guess.
But there's still people alive that remember it before that, right? So.
Sure. Yeah, but the world's full of conquered people, right? Like that's where it's no different than any other part of history. I'm an American, right? We came in and wiped out the Indians, gave them this shitty little place, those shitty little places to live, and I left them in a little spots of land.
I bet they resisted.
They did. But they were overwhelmed as well. They resisted, and didn't take very long for them to be vastly outgunned, right? They didn't even have guns, in fact. That was the problem. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm not a Zionist because I don't think that Israel has some inherent right to have land. I don't think they have necessarily a cultural right to that ground any more than anybody that lived in I guess what was Palestine called for a long time, like Palestine.
British mandate Palestine. Before that, it was called Philistine.
Palestine, yeah. So I don't think Israel has any right to that land over anybody else that lived there when it was Palestine. Let's put it that way.
My question is, countries that go to war.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, from a world perspective, I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that.
So my question. So do you feel like they're obviously responsible for, or they are responsible for most of the stuff, in my opinion? But
they're not. I can't. I think it's going too far to say the way that October 7th went down was acceptable. I'm not saying it shouldn't be expected.
I was going to ask you about that, right? Let me ask you this question, right? So October 7th ways the evil that Israel have done to the Palestinians.
Oh no, I don't think it outweighs it. No, I think that.
So why is it like?
I think the Palestinian doesn't mean that it somehow is worse than.
You can say the same for Israel. Israel should have been expecting the October 7th.
Right. But I have no. I agree with that. But I agree with that. But I have no respect for the way that October 7th was actually. The engagement actually took place. I have no respect for the way I consider how October 7th was handled as textbook terrorism. They targeted civilians on purpose. They tortured for reasons of fear. So if they would have handled it,
hang on, let him finish, and then you can speak.
So I don't agree with the way that October 7th occurred. I don't agree with what they did, but I can't. October 7th was blatant. So but it.
You would have a problem with it, right? If the army runs away from because it was surprise. Oh my God! Even though it wasn't really a surprise. There's evidence to show that Egypt warned Israel 2 weeks prior. A lot of people, I think a woman in the Knesset warned higher ups that they were planning something, and they didn't listen to her. And
it doesn't obfuscate, whatever that word is, the Hamas for targeting civilians. In other words, everything you said is true, and it doesn't change the fact that they went over the border and targeted civilians directly in a terroristic manner. If it ended up where if Israel failed to respond the way America would, that has no bearing on whether or not I think the way that that was all after a bunch of kids at a fucking concert were slaughtered like fucking pigs.
The original number. Then they went down to 1195. Then they went down from 1195 to 695 civilians, 500 IDF soldiers. Then you have the Hannibal Directive was applied as well. The amount of and they couldn't tell from the Palestinian bodies to the Israeli bodies. That's how burnt up these bodies were. The Apache helicopters were used. We have testimony from Shalomi, the guy that's on this app that was a captain, right? He asked him this question. He said that I said, was the Hannibal Directive applied? Were they shooting bullets? He said yes. While they were taking him in, he was kidnapped on 7th of October. You have and they could not tell for about a week or so because the Apache helicopter carries the automatic that automatic weaponry that holds up to about 1,200 rounds. And they did apply the Hannibal Directive. There's people at the party. I don't know if you know about the open carry law, Mike, inside Israel. So if you have served in the military, you actually have the open carry law, where you would you could, and some of these people, they even walked over to their cars to grab their weapon. What else was it? Oh yeah, 10 days prior to the attack, Egypt warned Netanyahu that there's going to be attack.
Did you see? Listen, none of this fucking matters though. None of it changes a fucking word that I just said. It just does. You guys keep doing this. I don't care if it's 1100 or 1300. I don't care if they had access to weapons in their cars or not. I don't care. I saw it. It was filmed. I saw it with my own fucking eyes. I watched The Last Dance. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Okay? Now, I'm not saying you have to become an Israeli sympathizer. Hang on. I'm not saying you have to be an Israeli sympathizer by watching that. But what I am saying is anybody in the right fucking mind can see that was a bloodbath that was aimed directly at civilians, not military targets. And I have absolutely no tolerance for that. Zero. I think that there needs to be civilization in the world, and I think countries need to act in non-terroristic manners. We can argue about whether or not Israel is acting in terrorism. We can do that. We can do whataboutism all day long. It doesn't change October 7th and how it went down and what they did and how they did it, and the fact that they're now suffering horrible consequences because they decided to target civilians as a bunch of fucking terrorists in a disgusting manner. You can. I don't see why you have to justify that in order to also think what you guys think. Stop justifying it. It's disgusting. Because they were burned badly by Apaches does not mean that. Because they were burned badly by Apaches does not mean that.
Yoav Galan, the defense minister said it. It was applied. He was a former Israeli defense minister.
I don't care if one person said it. I'm still not buying it. I need more evidence than the flapping gums of one person. There's all kinds of fucking lunatics. Whataboutism is crap, dude. Listen, you can condemn Hamas for what they did and think everything you think. You do not. It is not either or.
No, not think. I'm giving you data. I'll give you data. I'm not going based on bullshit. I don't talk about the bullshit. I'll give you the data. Hang on.
We do condemn the killing of civilians, but October 7th was justified. Maybe the method is not justified if civilians were...
Targeting civilians is never justified by any country ever. Ever fucking ever.
Are you missing what I'm saying? Like, are you listening?
I don't care. I don't care. When you say it's justified and you're done, you said it. No, it's not acceptable.
The cause is 100%.
I don't care. No, it's not. There's civilians have nothing to do with it. Nope. Brother Amir, if they want to target civilians after they've joined the military, I don't need to listen to the rest of it because what you started with, the entire premise is bullshit.
God bless the two.
Hang on.
We condemn it and then we say God bless it. Fuck you. Why was it disingenuous? I posted video of that. If you want to stop being disingenuous, we can have a conversation.
Hang on. So I put the link in the chat for Animal Directive. This is a testimony of Commander of IDF. And Brother Zero put in the chat, you have to look up the
actual helicopter.
The actual helicopter. He got connected. Yes, he got connected with the people on the ground using WhatsApp groups and whatnot. And this is all Israeli sources. And if you're going to deny the Israeli official saying this, the commander of IDF said it. Yoav Galan, he was the defense minister of IDF, the Israeli government. I don't know what to tell you, Mike.
Okay, so again, whataboutism? Explain to me what the Hannibal Directive has to do with Hamas beginning an attack on October 7th by targeting civilians, kids, at a fucking concert directly. No. Tell me what that is. Now later, Israel said we're going... I don't even care if you say Israel said those... Hang on. I don't even care if you say Israel said those two thrown people rather than us to be taking us on.
Let him finish, and then you can go speak.
Even if you say Israel initiated a directive after they were attacked on October 8th to kill civilians, Israeli civilians, directly rather than allow them to be taken as hostages, and justification by doing whataboutisms. It's ridiculous. This guy before said we don't support what they did, but they had a right to do it, and God bless October 7th.
Freedom fighters on October 7th. More people were killed by Israel riots on October 7th. More people were killed by Israel. More. Take a look at the fucking video, dude.
You're a fucking. I have made a bunch of concessions in describing to you what I think. I am obviously not a Zionist based on everything I said. Okay. Now, can you be?
How do you suppose them to get their own people back? Do you know what the objective of Hamas was? The objective of Hamas for years, and even including children.
What I saw them grab was, in one case, a girl that was tall, long, dark hair, and she had her legs broken on the back of that pickup truck. She wasn't a soldier. So I don't buy that at all. That wasn't who they targeted. They targeted civilians. They ended up fighting some soldiers after 6 hours. These countries do this. They go in for their best interest. These countries do this. They go in for their best interest. They put people in place and it bites them in the ass later. America's done it multiple times.
Man, he said after 6 hours, Hamas started fighting with some IGF soldiers. So where were the ones patrolling the border? Was there no one at the border? How did they start fighting after 6 hours?
Apparently, it was some kind of holiday in Israel, and they didn't respond because they were ignored. Obviously, nobody. Yeah, there was a holiday, and I think their trips were reduced because of that. I didn't say they had nobody at the border.
Holiday or not, in every corner.
I know you just came in. You don't know the context of the story that we're going back and forth.
Oh, the context.
You don't know. You don't know. We're not talking to you. We're talking to Mike Fatima.
Okay, listen. Israeli soldier testifies to Knesset committee. We received orders from Golani. There, if there were a sniper, I would have seen it. So this is a guy testifying to the Knesset that he was ordered by the Golani Brigade to stand down and do not patrol between 5:30 and 9 a.m. on October 7th. And you can watch the video.
Amir, I'll find this file, right? It's like some lawyers in the UK, everything, and it's got all the evidence for it. I'll find it. I'll send it to you.
Okay, thank you, brother. Thank you. Send it to Mike. Mike, would you be able to, or would you be okay reading?
Sure, it's not an end-all be-all, though. I listen to testimony of people. There's a shit ton of, there's all kinds of fucking Fruit Loop people that say shit on all sides of all issues, and I don't take any one person's word for it, whether or not they work in the government. It's irrelevant. So if there's evidence, if there's evidence of more people agreeing to that, and then there's some circumstantial and some physical evidence otherwise, but one person saying something is not going to change my mind now.
ICJ, they played clips as well. Did you see the ICJ trial? What the amount of crimes that they have committed, the army. So they have to base it off videos and the evidence that they have, we have. You know what I'm saying? They have to base it off videos and the evidence that they have, we have. You know what I'm saying? We have to base our opinion on the evidence that we have. How the hell is called Hannibal Directive? I want you to go look it up, do your research. It's a lot of evidence out there that shows the Hannibal Directive was applied on 7th of October.
Well, the rest of you are like, it's like banging my head into a fucking brick wall because you're disingenuous and you're not open-minded enough to explore a group of closed-minded, stupid people. It's an intolerable group of stupid, closed-minded people.
And there was even extra
First, you don't want to accept any or you drive me nuts, to be honest with you, Fatima. So first, you don't want to accept any coming out of any high-ranking official or whatever coming out of any high-ranking official or whatever government.
I didn't say that.
In other words, you did say that, and now you're saying you don't want to believe us because it's all propaganda. So where do you?
In other words, I didn't say that. You adding in other words doesn't mean I said it.
Sure. So where do you get information from?
Evidence.
Where do you get information from?
Evidence.